Make it? Here. I made it.
Okay, here's Patty.
Okay. Hello, hello, hello. We'll give everybody just a couple minutes to pop on. There's Cooper.
Yep.
Making his presence known, as he often does. Now the others are joining in. Omri must be home.
Yeah, I just heard her come in. Oh, hang on.
So is Cat.
Somebody pushed my door open. One of the dogs trying to come see me.
Cat's at one end of the house. I'm at the other end of the house. All right, we'll give just a couple more minutes. Loki. If you don't hear him on my end, you're going to hear him on Cat's end. So he thinks he runs the whole damn household.
We'll get stereo barking.
He's a mess.
Well, he kind of does run the whole household. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not like he's totally delusional or anything, because he sort of kind of does.
Yeah, no sort of kinda. He does.
Because he's the cutest thing on the whole wide world.
Except when he's a turd.
Yes. But he is the cutest thing in the whole wide world. So there is that. Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. For those of you that haven't met Kat before, this is Kat Lynn. She is an evidential medium. She's been hiatus for a year as she goes through a tumultuous personal divorce. She is coming back to us though. She has, before that, she does the sign of the week with the kids in the Healing Warrior Parent. I met Kat early on in my journey, and she has son Ben in spirit. And Kat is going to lead you guys through the brain heart coherence tonight. Good for nervous system reset, good for PTSD. She's also going to be leading you guys through the guided meditation holiday dinner with your kids this week. So I'm going to hand it over to Kat. Like I said, she is an evidential medium. She's just going to be starting to do readings again, I believe, after the first of the year. Is that right, Kat?
Yeah.
You're going to start back up again? So get a hold of Kat to schedule a reading. We will include her information when she's up and running again in the informational page. So I'm going to hand it over to her, and I'm going to mute myself and shut my video off and let her kind of give you guys a rundown about what brain heart coherence is, give you guys the information on that, and then lead you through a session. It won't be a super long pop-up tonight, just long enough to get you guys through the session and do a question and answer and get the information out there. And then tomorrow night we have what? Kathy, Reiki with Stacy? I think, yeah, it is Reiki with Stacy, because I thought it was November 20th and it's December 20th. So tomorrow night is Reiki with Stacy. So I'm going to hand it over to Kat now, guys. So have a great session.
Hello, ladies. I don't know if you're familiar at all with personal coherence or brain heart coherence. I'm an ad heart facilitator through Heart Math. That's the organization that founded this and did all the research and everything on it. Several years ago, they discovered that we have a little brain in our heart. There's actually 40,000 neurons that have been identified in the heart that match the neuron cells in your brain. Brain heart coherence occurs at 0.1 hertz. When you get into brain heart coherence, you actually match the coherence of the Earth's magnetic field. So when you get into coherence, you're actually tapping into the universal field, to that energetic field. Through that, the energetic sources of coherence, you can drive your own biological systems. Typically 3 to 10 minutes of doing brain heart coherence will net you 6 hours of improved immune system, higher decision making. You can tap easily into intuition. It elevates communication. It elevates creativity. Typically what they say to do is to tap into a strong emotional feeling. Most people want to go to love. And what we've discovered is because there's so many different forms of love, using gratitude or compassion are the best emotions to tap into when you're doing this. One of the benefits of this is as you bring yourself into coherence, that coherence spreads out in the field and that will influence other people around you, which improves just general relationships. One of the most recent sort of pushes that they're doing is that it's heart-based living. So that if you can keep yourself in brain heart coherence, that will actually lead you to a next level of consciousness. So it's one of the easiest things in the world to do. You can do it even in a high stress situation. Example, you come across an accident on the highway and you've got decisions to make and you're not sure what to do. You can literally slip right into coherence and those answers will come to you much easier, much more quickly. And you're tapping into that higher field directly. I reference it as a T3 line, I mean, being the computer geek that I was. So it's literally the simplest thing in the world. All you have to do is we're going to do, 3 minutes of doing brain heart coherence gets you 6 hours of improved, like it puts your body, takes you out of the sympathetic nervous system and drops you into the parasympathetic nervous system. But it has a compound effect. So every time you do it, like if you do it for 3 minutes, you get 6 hours. Do it for 6 minutes, you get 18 hours. Do it for 10 minutes, you get 48 hours. So the more often you do it and the longer you can do it, the more benefit you're going to receive from it. All you have to do is get comfortable. There's no, like, you don't have to ground your feet or anything. If you want to lay down, if you want to sit back, if you want to curl your legs, whatever comfortable position you want to get into. And then you place your right hand on your heart and focus, like where your attention goes, energy flows. So you're putting your focus on that heart chakra and you're going to focus your breathing through that heart chakra. So every breath in, every breath out, you want to sort of focus it and imagine yourself funneling it through the heart. Once you kind of get yourself comfortable, we're going to do breathe in for 5 seconds, breathe out for 8 seconds. And while we're doing that, I want you to bring into focus something that brings you a very, very strong focused sense of gratitude or a very strong focused sense of compassion. Whatever feels comfortable. I often use Ben to get into coherence. I'll just be grateful for everything that I have with him. And that works for me every time. So just, you can play around with it as well. Try different things. You will feel it once you hit coherence. It usually only takes 3 rounds of breath to get into coherence. You can actually there's a sensor you can get from HeartMath that will give you the feedback for it, but it's not necessary. So if everybody just put your hand on your heart and get comfortable, close your eyes and find something that you are deeply grateful for and keep that feeling of gratitude strongly in the front of your mind. Inhale for 5. Pause. Exhale for 8. And inhale for 5. Pause and exhale for 8. Inhale for 5. Pause. Exhale for 8. Keep that gratitude focused in front of your mind. Inhale for 5. And this time on the pause, smile. Exhale for 8. Inhale for 5. Smile. Exhale for 8. Keep that gratitude focused strongly. Inhale for 5. Smile. Exhale for 8. Inhale for 5. Smile. Exhale for 8. Inhale for 5. Keep that gratitude focused. Smile. Exhale for 8. Inhale for 5. As you feel yourself dropping deeper into coherence, make sure you're getting that gratitude in its full feeling. Smile and exhale for 8. Inhale for 5. Smile. Exhale for 8. Keep that gratitude in the forefront. And inhale for 5. Exhale for 8. Inhale for 5. Smile. Exhale for 8. Keep the gratitude at the forefront. And last time, we're going to inhale for 5. Smile. Exhale for 8. And you've all just got yourself into brain heart coherence. It's literally that simple. That, like the 3 minutes we just did that, you guys just gained 6 hours of improved intuition, improved communication, improved connection, improved immunity. It's that simple. So I'm going to ask if anybody has questions or if anybody wants to talk about how they felt. Go ahead, Kim. Just shout out.
So I had a problem keeping the gratitude in the forefront because I was more focused on inhaling and exhaling.
What I found when I first started doing it, I had that problem too. And that's where the hand on the heart, if you can kind of keep your focus in sort of a circular loop, feeling that sensation, that physical sensation of your hand on your heart to remind you of whatever you're grateful for. Okay. I typically will pick one item to be grateful for and just focus on that. And if gratitude tends not to work very well for you, try compassion or appreciation. Those are the 3 big ones that they tend to use. Gratitude tends to be the easiest, but compassion works very well as well. So, but it's that where your attention goes, energy flows. So if you can sort of keep that grounding focus to the hand on the heart, that can help ground what you're doing with the gratitude. The breathing, as you do it more times, it just comes naturally.
That's what I was wondering, just because I was more focused on that, because it's something I have to concentrate on to do. Yes.
Yeah. And the 5 count for the in-breath and the 8 count for the exhale is scientifically proven to be the most optimum count. what I did when I first started was I would use like my hand on my heart and use my fingers to count out the breath.
Okay.
So that kind of kept that focus and energy going through the heart chakra and
Sure.
centered that way. So it's a little harder when you're trying to think when somebody's talking you through the breathing. But that's one of the ways that I've done it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did anybody have any other questions? And did everybody feel that sense of trying to think? I just know it as coherence. So I'm not sure how to describe it. But I guess it's a sense of ease that comes where you just feel like things are making a little more sense or connecting a little better. They're flowing a little easier. That's sort of I guess the best way I can describe it. So, and as you do it, again, like I say, the more you do it, the more compound the effects are, the easier it is to get into coherence. So, but literally 3 minutes a day makes a huge improvement in your life in all areas. And again, there's side benefits to manifesting. The more you're tapping into the field through that coherence, the more those positive thoughts and healing reinforcement come back to you. And it generates a compound buildup in that way as well. So it's a tool you can use anywhere, anytime. You don't have to do it for 3 minutes. Just 3 breaths will reset the sympathetic nervous system into the parasympathetic system. So it's literally something you can use in any situation at any time in any way. Once you get a little more adept at it, you don't have to put your hand on your heart, but that's one of the easier ways. So you can do it out in public, you can do it anywhere, and nobody knows you're doing it. So short pop-up, it's not hard, like it's literally not rocket science. It is science, but not rocket science. It's really easy to do. And I can personally attest to when my life went for shit, 24 years of marriage went down the drain, and I didn't use it. And things got squirrely really fast. Once I started using it again and practicing it again and making sure I did bring that into use, things got a whole lot easier to handle. So if you have a bad day where you're, whatever trigger happened, you can use that as an immediate grounding source to kind of bring yourself back into the present, and then use the tools that Nikki's shown all of you to get yourself sort of through that. But you can use it as a reset button is basically what it is. So super easy, super simple, can be used anywhere, anytime. So, but did you?
It falls under what we spoke about last night. It's another form of somatic healing.
Yeah.
So it's another very simple, quick, easy tool to add into your somatic healing toolbox. So, and super fast too, and super effective. So put that one into your somatic healing toolbox for sure.
Yeah. And one of the things I started doing last year was using it before I did any guided meditations. Because as you get into coherence, you're literally tapping into that universal field. And it makes it that much easier for your kids and loved ones to be able to reach you and for you to be able to connect with them in that arena, in that intuitive field. So it's always a good thing to have, whether you're going into a medium reading or going into coaching, anything like that. You can use that to get yourself grounded and open to receiving that information from the other side and staying connected easily. You don't have to work at it. It's literally like the simplest of things and has massive benefits in many areas. So, but if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. Yeah, you can, there's multiple videos on YouTube, and you can go to the heartmath.org, I believe it is. And they've got several different things that you can do. They have different little courses like brain heart coherence for trauma, different things like that you can sign up for as well. They've got a lot of free resources. You can get the software, the Inner Balance software, for free, but that will give you different techniques, but you have to get a sensor to actually see when you're in coherence and for how long and everything. And for me, that worked. I needed that. because I didn't trust myself at the time I did it. But it's definitely not necessary, and they aren't cheap. I will say that. I think the cheapest one is $99. So, and they go up from there. And it's initially it worked well. I could see it physically, but then it became sort of an extraneous piece of equipment that I didn't need anymore. So I don't recommend you spend the money unless you really, really can't get into coherence on your own. So, but feel free to ask.
It's kind of like the pendulum. You probably don't need, eventually you don't need the equipment because you feel into it and you come into your knowing. And when you get into the awareness of coherence with your body, you open up the awareness with your body, and that's the ultimate goal. So the equipment is just kind of like, you don't need it once you have the awareness of your body. So, it's kind of the training wheels.
Yeah, and you can just go, like, if I felt a good portion of it, there's a couple I think didn't quite get fully into coherence, but most of you did. And you will know it. There's a sense that you feel. It's almost like a sense of ease. Literally, the brain and the heart come into that 0.1 megahertz coherence, and you're tapped into the field directly. So.
Does anybody have any questions? Do you guys feel like this is an effective tool that you can implement? Yeah?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, good. That's what we call that a win.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Perfect. Not a long pop-up, but if it's an effective one, we call that a win, right?
Definitely. Mhm.
Okay. Well, I thank you, Kat, for popping on with us tonight. We're
Thanks,
gonna pop
Kat.
on. It'll probably
Thank
be only
you.
a half an hour again tomorrow.
Okay.
We want to do quick, effective tools all week long. So, thank you so much, Kat. I'll meet you in the living room. And ladies, I will see you tomorrow night. Like Kat said, this is something 3 minutes a day. 3 minutes a day, ladies. So I would recommend doing this every day. Set a goal for yourself for the next 2 weeks. Do it for 3 minutes a day. Incorporate it with what we spoke of last night. I did not see any of you comment and post what somatic tools you were going to utilize this next, 7 days. So
Posted.
please, yeah, I've
I
only
didn't see
been
the
in.
post.
Well, I posted the somatic stuff, but I didn't write out the assignment because I thought we spoke about it. But I can write out the assignment
Oh,
if that's what we need to do. So no problem. So
come on, teach.
I just posted all the somatic
I
stuff.
didn't understand the assignment.
Okay. I will write it out verbatim. What I told you guys last night, that's what it's gonna take.
Do you
So-
think we remember that shit?
Okay, all you get a post-it note and write down brain heart coherence. Remember.
I expect y'all to remember that shit. I kind of thought most of you wrote it down that as I say it.
Well, I definitely did
No,
do a little of that
I
homework.
wrote stuff down, but no.
Okay, I will go in tomorrow and write it down for you guys.
Well, now that you told us again, we're not gonna forget. So
Yeah.
there you go. You don't have to write it.
I will not make an assumption. I will go in and write it down for you guys. I'm damned if I do, damned if I don't. I write out each assignment in some classes, and I take grief for doing it that way. So now I'm just like, remember the assignment I said in the Zoom? And y'all are like, what assignment? So, like,
What?
But so I will write out the assignment from last night's Zoom tomorrow. But I do want, and I will write out this assignment to do 3 minutes every day for the next week or so of brain heart coherence. I will write that down as well. But otherwise, I will see you guys tomorrow night for Reiki. Thank you so much, Kat, for joining
Thank
us
you,
tonight.
Kat.
And I will
And-
see you guys on Friday for the Christmas dinner.
Yes, and Kat will be back with us Friday for Christmas dinner. Okay?
Awesome.
Thanks, girls.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
All right, ladies.
you.
I
Have a
will
good
talk
night.
to
Bye,
you.
everybody.
Good
Bye.
night.
Good night. Good night.